All right. I am joined by Dana, Vice President of Revenue Strategy and Distribution at CoralTree Hospitality, coming to us from San Diego, California, right?
Good morning. Yeah, like
You
a
doing okay?
beautiful fall morning. Yeah, everything's great.
Yeah. Well, it's always beautiful in San Diego, right?
Yeah, nothing like a 95 degree, almost October day.
Oh, gosh. Well, so tell us about your personal experience over the past 6 months.
Well, from a personal standpoint, I have a working wife and two young kids, so it's been a bit of a balancing act trying to figure out who's on Zoom and who gets the office.
Yeah.
But from a work standpoint, we have been fortunate. We're in a growth mode, and I feel that's a bit atypical from what I'm hearing across the industry.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about CoralTree, your portfolio. What's that look like?
Yeah, so very quick history. We are a few of the legacy executives from Two Roads Hospitality that sold to Hyatt in late 18. We currently have 19 hotels in 6 different cities with a mixture of resorts, conference centers, urban boutique hotels, and we have a couple brands.
So did everything close and then reopen, or how'd that go?
We had one hotel stay open through the entire last 6 months. We have managed to open 75% of the rest of the hotels. We still have a few that remain closed. 3 of those hotels are actually in San Francisco, which is still a bit on lockdown. So we're hopeful to have them open either by the end of the year or first thing next year.
So what are the properties that are performing? Like, are those the resorts? Are those the out of the cities, that kind of thing?
Yeah, so for us, the best 2 performing hotels have definitely been in a leisure destination. So Terranea Resort in Palos Verdes, just outside LA, has been had a really strong summer. And when you look at their competitive set, they're also performing pretty well as well. Occupancy, obviously, as you would expect, is a bit down, but rates have been very strong. In our urban core hotels, weekends and very last minute, depending on the weather.
Yeah. Well, at least you're getting a little action on the weekends there. Those are the tough spots.
Yeah.
What about the revenue management side of it all? What kind of adjustments have you had to make?
Well, I think the pandemic has forced us all to kind of reorient. I think we all became very dependent on automation and systems. And I think this has forced us to pivot, kind of, in a way, almost de-automate and call it re-humanize, right? Those that have had some experience working without an RMS, as an example, have been able to kind of adapt and adjust maybe more quickly. Those that are not are still learning, but maybe have a bit more of a learning curve to figure out kind of what are the metrics that matter today and how do I get at them.
Can you share with us some of the data that you do look at? And I would assume that this is like daily, if not weekly, rather than monthly, quarterly, of course.
Very much so. Yeah, history has become a bit irrelevant, right? And so we're looking at performance from last week. We're looking at trends over the last month, maybe last 6 to 8 weeks. We're looking very, very closely at where our business is coming from. To some extent, the rate codes and what is being booked, but even maybe more at a micro level, where is that business coming from, and what is it that's attracting them?
Have the wildfires affected your hotels? I would assume, but
Yeah, hearts out to all those in California. Plenty of my coworkers and friends have been impacted. Yes. We've actually seen in a couple of our hotels, we've been able to pick up some first responder business. We've also seen some last minute families who have no other option. But yeah, I think it's one of the kind of positives of the negative is we have seen a bit of an uptick in demand from people impacted for sure.
What about some of the tactics for the hotels that are performing? Probably staycation Is it
Mm-hmm.
email? Is it social? What's going on there?
Yeah, we've really doubled down to whatever extent we can. I think everybody's is going to be a little bit different on personalization, really focusing on the value of a direct booking. Um, doing our best to stay out of a price war. With limited demand, it's not rate that's going to move people. It's going to be, you read a lot of the consumer sentiment today. It's still very much about safety and cleanliness. So we're still very focused on ensuring and very openly communicating what we're doing to ensure safety and cleanliness for an arrival as well as a stay. And then, like I said, we're really doubling down on personalization and trying to find ways to to connect with our past guests. We don't really want to get in the fight out there for the little bit of new business. We're really looking internally at those guests that are more prone and more apt to come back and visit again.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Danny, with the time remaining, any advice for the hoteliers as we continue to just crawl through this garbage?
Oh my gosh. If somebody has some advice, please send it my way. All I would say is, as much as I tell myself, these are the things I tell myself: be patient and don't panic. Create a plan, be nimble enough to pivot as needed, right? But have a plan and stick to it. And most importantly, prepare for the return, return of business. We are starting, using your home city as an example, we are starting to see some business travel, looking internally. We as a company are slowly beginning to, hit the skies again, slowly. And I think that is somewhat representative of, some industries, right? So there are some small meetings out there. There is some business travel happening. So like I said, be patient, have a plan, and then prepare for the return, because it will come.
Yep, it'll be here. All right, Dana, thanks for joining me.
Absolutely, Jason. Thanks for your time, man. Appreciate it.
You bet.